Hey, how's it going, everyone? In this video, I wanted to kind of talk about my thoughts on the current environment because I haven't really done that on the channel yet. And I have been thinking about it a lot. And I didn't want to make this video until I had something to say about it. And I finally do have something to say about it. So hopefully this can be useful for me to get there's my thoughts out there, articulate what I think about the current environment, and then also hear what all of you think in the comments. I'm hoping that this can become just a positive and useful discussion about what we all want to see from the current environment. Because what I want to see, I'm guessing is not what everyone else wants to see. And I'll get into that. First, I want to start by just talking about what is the current environment because I think it's important that we are talking about the same thing. So this excerpt is from the article that they posted. It's just a quote directly from that article, and it says this practice allows us to define a more accessible current environment, which consists of the core set, any other evergreen parentheses perpetually in print expansions, as well as the newer expansions that have not yet been retired. In practice, this will approximately be 2 to 3 years worth of active expansions. Precise lists of what is considered current environment will be maintained and updated by each line as new products are released or as older products are retired. So, what we know about the current environment is that it's going to contain the core set, and then they will keep a precise list of what is considered the current environment somewhere. So we don't have really much more info than this. They vaguely said that in practice it'll be approximately 2 to 3 years worth of active expansions, but I think that's just kind of a heuristic to just give us something to latch onto. What it actually is, in their own words, is that precise lists of what is considered the current environment will be maintained and updated. I just wanted to start there, make sure that we're all on the same page of what the current environment is. And the main thing here is that they're trying to address different issues with the game. And me as a player, I also have certain issues with the game. I love Marvel Champions. I think it's a great game. It's my favorite game, actually. But I don't think it's perfect. And obviously, since they're thinking about doing this current environment, they don't think it's perfect either. And now I'm going to just go more into my opinion. So from here on out, it's going to be what I think about the current environment. So, one of the issues in the game, in my opinion, is not everything is in balance with each other. There's certain builds that are just so much stronger than other options. So, an example of that is Uncanny X Men in the leadership aspect is just extremely powerful. And there's also just allies in general are a very powerful card type, and they kind of solve all of your problems at once for you. And with how many allies are available now, that's eventually became a problem with the expanding card pool. That allies are very strong, leadership, specifically recurring those allies, spamming allies onto the board, is really strong. And Uncanny X-Men is one example, but there are other things such as like Honed Technique and Dive Bomb is another example that's just way too strong. One way or another in solo for Justice is way too strong. You can draw way too many cards for that to be in balance with the other aspects. And it can be kind of hard. So like protection is often struggling to keep up with all these other aspects because of how broken some of the things are. And for me, this doesn't bother me so much because if it's a specific broken combo or like one specific ally, that's the problem. I personally don't mind just avoiding that ally. But what I do have a larger issue with is just the evolution of Basic, essentially. Basic at this point contains so many powerful allies and supports that you don't really need anything else, especially with the X-Men. With the X-Men, that's what I noticed. I mentioned in my other video of my favorite villains, I talked about how like, oh, the X-Men waves I don't enjoy as much as the other waves. And I reflected on that a lot, and I realized that that's not necessarily true. Um, it's kind of more the expanding card pool and Basic becoming really strong, and the X-Men as a whole like leaning into Basic so hard with almost all of the allies being Basic and having Utopia be extremely strong. That stuff was more what I was dissatisfied with the X-Men and the mutant waves, the cycle as a whole, not really the villain design. It's just because looking back, um, I think the villains are fine. I think the heroes are fine. Fine meaning good for this game because I like this game. I don't have problems with a lot of the villains and a lot of the heroes. When I really take a step back and look at it, it's more so um, just the things that the current environment is trying to address that's culminated with the X-Men because they're the last expansion that's more of what's bothering me with this game. So I have Nick Fury, Professor X, Moon Girl here. Silk just came out, and with basic Web Warriors and the Genius package, you don't even need an aspect with Silk. I've played an all basic deck with Silk that just completely dominated the game, and that's kind of a pretty common occurrence now. And that's one of my actual bigger issues with the game that I'm hoping will be fixed with the current environment. And then this, unfortunately, is another problem with the game, in my opinion at least, that the current environment can't fix. And that's that the rules are kind of out of control. The rules 1.6 is so long with so many different like addendums to it that are trying to address specific cases because card wording isn't consistent throughout the life cycle of the game that it becomes just kind of a mess in my opinion. It's like the um, video of me reading through the whole rule book took 4.5 hours just to like read the 1.6 rules, and I think that this is untenable, especially for new players. A new player that learns the game and then they start wanting to play it 100% correct and try to get it correct, and then they jump to 1.6. It's going to be really overwhelming, and it's just there's been a lot of problems throughout the game's life cycle with the rules, and it's kind of just too much. So this goes into my solution, though, is I don't necessarily want a current environment because when I reflected on this, I want like a full reset, which I'm not sure that that's going to be a popular opinion. But when I think about what I want, it is just I would rather have a brand new core box with changed mechanics, fixing sort of the core issues with the game's balance, such as allies being a little too strong and a little too versatile, solving too many problems, and redoing the rules entirely to streamline the system, and then rewording all the cards going forward to be accurate and fit into that system well. And that's what I want. Like, I want essentially a brand new game with a brand new core box. So, like, I don't think that that's necessarily what the current environment is going to be. I have no reason to think that that's what it will be. But for me personally, as a player, that's what I would want. Is I would want a hard reset on the game, and I want a brand new rulebook, a brand new core box, and even just the old heroes. I really enjoy all those old heroes, and I would be very happy to just get Peter Parker 2.0 that goes into this new game, and that my old Marvel Champions is a separate thing that I can revisit when I want to, and that I also have a brand new game that I can learn again and learn some new mechanics and learn and try to problem solve with it hopefully being a bit different than this one. I think that that would really improve my enjoyment more so than having a current environment. And I don't know if they're going to do this. I'm guessing that they probably won't do this because what I want personally as a player is not necessarily what's best for the game. But I just wanted to share that, like, for me personally, what I would want with the core box would just be a hard reset so it can 100% fix the rules and fix some of the more the balance, and then have more wisdom going forward so that these same mistakes don't happen. Because if you're starting fresh and doing it all over again, you can make a lot of iterations and a lot of different design choices that are going to be way healthier for the game's development going forward. So that's what I want. And again, I really just want to stress that this is just my opinion as a player, not even my opinion as anything else. It's just for me as a player to get the maximum amount of enjoyment going forward with this game, I think that this would be the best thing for me. And I want to hear what all of you think in the comments because this might be a really hot take for everyone because uh I don't know. I don't think I guess that the sentiment is not that you would want to reset the game, but for me, um that idea doesn't bother me. I wouldn't be upset if my old cards don't work with the new cards. It's such an expansive game already, and there's so much to explore, and there's like I feel like I would have so much content with all the different heroes and all of the different villains at this point to where it's essentially inexhaustible. And I'll probably still return to it, but I do really want a brand new game, brand new rules, brand new core box. And revisiting old heroes is fine for me. Brand new Captain America, Spider Man, Doctor Strange. I'd be all for that. Plus, obviously, I'd hope there's some new ones as well. I don't want it to be just a repeat of all of it. I would want it to tread its own path. And but yeah, that's my feeling on it. Um, I hope you enjoyed listening to this, and let me know what you think in the comments. Um, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you next time.